Absolutely. I wish that I had hired you at the start. I threw thousands of dollars on advertising. I recorded a course professionally. I did all sorts of things before I came and found you and Fearless Coach Academy. If there's anything I kick myself for, it's not coming and finding you sooner, because you were a fraction of the cost for the lessons that I learned the hard way, and 5 times the impact of knowing how to do it rather than experimenting on my own. So I say, save yourself banging your head against a wall. It might feel like you're making an investment. You're like, oh, I'm paying money for it. But in truth, you're going to waste that money in 100 other places to learn the lessons at a fraction of the speed that you can learn them with Peter and at Fearless Coach Academy.
Thank you. Hello there, and welcome to this Fearless Coach Academy case study interview. Today, I've got the pleasure of interviewing a great client of ours and a good friend of mine, Todd Payne. Todd, I appreciate you being willing to share kind of the experience you've had in Fearless Coach Academy, the things that you've learned, the results that you've got, because I think it'll be really useful to our audience here. So why don't we just start by you sharing a little bit of background about, who you coach, who your niche is, what you help them with, so that people understand your coaching business.
Thanks for having me, Peter. I'm Todd Payne. I'm an expert relationship coach. I help people who are feeling unfulfilled in their relationships to rediscover the magic with their partner. This involves a lot of personal development work, communications work, and improving people's emotional intelligence when it comes to romantic relationships.
Super necessary today, isn't it? Very valuable coaching. In terms of delivery, how do you deliver your coaching? Is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it courses? What does the delivery model look like?
So I have a recorded course that I used, and I do a lot of one-on-one work. I'm working toward, my vision is to have more one-to-many work that I'm going to do with people. But for now, it's largely one-to-one and some recorded coursework that I use.
And I think that's a great place to start. So if anyone watching this is a newer coach, start with one-on-one. And again, you're not a newer coach, Todd. You've been doing this for a long time, but that's a great model to start with. And then as you master your craft, which I know you have, it's time to think about leverage, because then you can impact even more people. So I love that and we've talked about that. Well, let's kind of go back to the beginning of your experience working in Fearless Coach Academy. This is about 3 months ago. And I know we had the holidays and things like that around that time, but think back to where your business was in terms of income, leads, fulfillment, happiness when it started working together. Where was the business at before we started?
My clientele was a trickle. The clients I had were very happy. I'm confident in what I do, and they were happy with my results, but I wasn't bringing in the numbers of clients that I wanted to bring in. I was really focusing my resources on selling my standalone course through Facebook and through Google Ads, but nobody was buying, and I didn't really understand why, so I just kept throwing money at it.
Okay, so it was kind of leads, like not enough consistent leads, not enough consistent enrollment calls.
Yes.
Why do you think that was a problem? Like what was missing? What do you think was missing in terms of like not getting those consistent leads and clients that you were wanting?
I don't think I really understood what it meant to promote myself. I was like, but I'm awesome. Why wouldn't people want me? If only they would give me a try, they would love it. But I had no idea how to get people to give me a try. So I was sort of standing on the street corner, gawking at the traffic going by and wondering how to get any attention.
Man, I feel you. Like my heart's exploding right now, because I felt the same way the first kind of few years of my coaching business. For those watching this, either live or the recording, it's probably something that many of you can relate to. I call it the Field of Dreams syndrome. It's that great baseball movie from the 80s where Kevin Costner said, if you build it, or somebody said, right, if you build it, they will come. Meaning, like, if you gain the skills, if you just put yourself out there, it should come. But it doesn't necessarily work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
It's beautiful in Hollywood. In real entrepreneurship, there's a whole lot of skill sets that you've got to learn. So thank you for being vulnerable and honest about that, because I think that's something a lot of coaches can relate to for sure. So how was this impacting you? Because this is a common problem. Not enough leads, not enough clients. How is it impacting your business, your personal life? What did that cascade effect look like?
In a nutshell, I was super conflicted because I was getting such positive reinforcement from my existing clients, but I didn't really have enough to keep going. I was like, I can't sustain this for another 6 months or another year. I need more money to make this happen. So I had this real sort of tear in my soul about, this is what I'm meant to be doing, but I can't make ends meet. So I was very stressed. My wife was stressed. My family was stressed. I was working lots of hours, kind of fruitlessly. I think in retrospect, I wasn't seeing a lot of return on the amount of effort and energy I was putting in, because I was putting it in the wrong places.
For sure. Yeah. And I've had moments like that too, where it's tough because you have that moment and you're a valuable coach. Like, you're a powerful coach, the results that your clients are getting. But when you have that inconsistency, not only does it create stress on our nervous system, it also almost creates moments of self-doubt. It's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I good at, am I called to be doing this in a way? So I feel that. In terms of when we spoke, because knowing that this was a problem for a while, we spoke about Fearless Coach Academy, we spoke about supporting you. What were some of the fears and concerns that you had back at that time about working with us or just working with a business coach in general?
Yeah, I would say that my biggest concern is Peter right for me and for my style? Because I hate reinventing the wheel, and I worked with coaches who are like, okay, see that mountain over there, go climb it. And I'm like, that's not helpful to me. I need more than that. So I was a little like, is this right for me? And is there gonna be, like, I'm not afraid to put in the effort, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel. And so I didn't know exactly what I was going to be getting, but I knew what I was doing wasn't getting me what I wanted.
Okay. Yeah. And it's got to align, right? It's got to align, number one, in values, right? When you're working with a business coach or a coach in general. And then number two, it's got to align in terms of what they're going to have you do. Are you willing and wanting to do those things? Because if it's just hey, go climb the mountain, great. Now you have clarity what mountain to climb. But then you're like, do I really, am I going to do this? Do I want to do this? So there's got to be synergy there.
And what do I pack in my backpack? And what's step one? And,
yes,
it was some of the nitty gritty stuff is where I was looking for direction. And so when I spoke with you, you kind of gave me insight that, you had these steps in place, and I was daring to hope, I guess, might be the way to put it.
Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, I'm a big structured person, right? So having a step-by-step plan is critical. We talked about that. I appreciate you trusting me and trusting the process and receiving that, because I know it's been really helpful. But that's the thing, that when you're looking, for those watching, when you're looking at a coach, whether it's, business coach or other types of coaches, relationship, for example, having structure is really important. When you can take a big journey and chunk it down into baby steps, it makes it a lot easier to digest, right? And then those quick wins create further motivation, further commitment, things like that. If we don't have those quick wins, then that kind of some of that self-doubt comes in. So,
yeah. And after our initial conversation, I had more confidence. And you're not the only coach that that I interviewed about this. And when you were able to break it down for me and say, all right, here's what an action plan looks like, I was like, okay, this is not going to be the blind leading the blind here.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Well, what are 3 things that you learned? And it doesn't have to be, it could be 2 or 3, from your time inside of Fearless Coach Academy that you feel made the biggest impact on your business?
The first I would say is that there is a system for everything. There was just a lot of unknowns for me. I felt like a lot of it was in terms of promoting myself, a lot of it was new. And when I came into the academy and I saw, okay, here's what the on-ramp looks like. Here's how to warm leads. Here's how to do social media. Here's how to do each little component piece. That gave me a lot of confidence. It was like, okay, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And the thing, I'm a big believer in when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And when I got inside and was working the system that you had provided for me, that really just like, oh, I'm in the right place. So I know that's not a specific lesson per se, but it really led to me feeling very confident about the value that I'm offering. And I was charging about $120 an hour. And now I'm not charging by the hour, I'm charging for the solution, and I'm charging $3,000, $6,000. And it's such a confidence booster to feel like I have what it takes to do this. And you really equipped me to feel confident in myself. I'd say the third thing, or maybe the most concrete thing that I can offer you, is that have a way to help my clients see that same thing in me. And it's not salesy and it's not a pushy, but I actually can talk to them in a way that helps them to understand what their problem is and how I can be part of the solution for them.
I love it.
was
So
huge.
not only, right, did you increase your prices and increase your offer, but you actually feel more comfortable and confident in having those conversations, having those enrollment conversations without feeling, manipulative or pressury or anything like that.
Yeah, up to that point, I was giving everything away because I didn't know how to ask for what it was worth without feeling like I was selling a used car or something.
Totally.
And now you gave me some skills that help me to stand where I am and say, hey, this is right for you, and I don't need to push you to it because you can see it for yourself. And that's the conversations and the legwork up to the conversation with the videos and the emails and the things, so that my clients were ready to hear what I had to say.
For sure. Yeah. We teach a process for those watching called Effortless Enrollment Framework. It's our structured sales process. It's a 2-call sales process. And I'm always cautious, Todd, about using the word sales because it's such a triggered word, right? It has an emotional charge to it. But when you serve in a way, it naturally gets people through seeing that what they're doing on their own is not getting them the result that they want. It's probably causing the problem. There may be some things in their blind spot, and there's a shift that they can make in their mindset, in their behavior, in their actions that can have a tremendous effect. And our job in those enrollment calls, as you now know, is not to solve those problems or coach them on that, because that's giving them false hope that they can go do that right there on the spot on their own. And that's one thing that's really important, is you've learned how to ask effective questions, hold space, and guide them and lead them through deciding at the end that they were ready to make a change. And again, not everyone will, but it sounds like obviously there's a great improvement in your enrollment process. Let's talk about the results. So thank you for sharing those 3 things.
Sure. And I want to actually, you were talking, I thought of one other thing to throw on, and that is how to handle when they do say no, because I would be crushed before when people would say no. And you were like, no, this is, if you can't solve their problem, that's fine. There's lots of folks out there that you can. So that was another thing that was a real boon to me.
Awesome. I love that. What were some of the tangible results in terms of number of clients or pricing and things like that you got from everything that you learned, everything that you just shared inside of Fearless Coach Academy?
Well, to start with, I've signed some clients at my new sort of better value priced rates. And what that means is that I'm not selling my time anymore. So that is a very tangible result. I would say that my own stress levels, the stress levels between myself and my wife and my children, those have gone down as my confidence level and my prospects have gone up as well. And to put it in a single word, hope is the biggest change. That I was very frantic and not so hopeful when I started working with you. And now I'm less stressed about figuring it out on my own, because I know that you're there, the system is there, the other coaches that you've got that are helping you out can answer any question that I've got. So it's like having a whole team behind me.
I love to hear that. I love to hear point number 2, knowing that there's less stress. That's a really amazing.
So much less stress.
Yeah, that's great. Well, very cool. Well, you know this program very well. You've been an incredible student. You've been on calls. You've been highly engaged. You've been asking for support. You've been quick to implement. It's been amazing. Who do you know, or not who do you know specifically, but who would you recommend Fearless Coach Academy to? What kind of coach do you think would benefit from our process?
I think anybody who knows that they are an expert at what they do, but that's all that they're an expert at, is the exact person that would benefit from the work that you offer. Because being great at your service or your product is one thing, and having the world know about you is another. And to learn that whole second set of skills is a lot of effort, and I felt like I was banging my head against a wall. So anybody who doesn't have a clear plan for forward movement, this is the place to learn how to navigate what's coming, both seen and unforeseen. You've tuned me into lots of things I didn't even know that I needed to be asking or needed to have in place. So I think anybody who knows that they're good at what they do and wants the world to know that they're good at what they do, then the Fearless Coach Academy is the place for them.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's a big thing that we focus on. Yes, we'll help you teach some coaching techniques, but really Fearless Coach Academy is designed to teach you how to generate consistent leads and attract and enroll your dream clients. So that's really the skills that we focus on building. Knowing that it's common, right? When a coach is looking at potentially working with a business coach, there could be some resistance. There could be some hesitation, some fear, some doubt. What would you say to somebody who's watching this, who knows that they need this help and potentially would like to work with us, but may have some fear, some doubt around that? Anything you would say to them?
Absolutely. I wish that I had hired you at the start. I threw thousands of dollars on advertising. I recorded a course professionally. I did all sorts of things before I came and found you and Fearless Coach Academy. If there's anything I kick myself for, it's not coming and finding you sooner, because you were a fraction of the cost for the lessons that I learned the hard way, and 5 times the impact of knowing how to do it rather than experimenting on my own. So I say, save yourself banging your head against a wall. It might feel like you're making an investment. You're like, oh, I'm paying money for it. But in truth, you're going to waste that money in 100 other places to learn the lessons at a fraction of the speed that you can learn them with Peter and at Fearless Coach Academy.
Thank you, Todd. There's such a powerful mindset to have. I feel the same way when I'm looking at working with mentors for myself. So it helps, they help me get the results faster than I could ever do on my own and avoid all the pain of trying to figure it out on my own. So I'm sure somebody's watching this who would like to connect with you because of your expertise and your niche and what you do to serve individuals and couples. Where can they go to connect with you?
The best place to find me is at rediscoverthemagic.com. And there you'll see a little bit about what I do and who I do it for and how I can help you if you're less than thrilled with the connection you have with your partner.
I love it. So those watching this that feel called to do that, I encourage you to connect with Todd. Please go to Rediscover the Magic. And I love that URL. Every time I hear it, I get goosebumps. So very, very cool. And if any of you are watching this and you want help with your business, that's obviously what we do in Fearless Coach Academy. I'm happy to have a complimentary call with you, with me or my team. We can take a look at your niche and your price point and your offer. We can see what's possible for you in the next 12 months, and we can map out a game plan to actually generate more consistent leads and get more clients. And so this is just kind of a casual, let's explore if or how we can help you. If we can't, we'll be honest and we'll recommend somebody else. But if we can talk about our program and share the details and see if it's a fit. So if you feel called to do that, if you're watching the live stream of this right now, just comment below or message me on Facebook if you want to do that. If you're watching the recording, just scroll below this video. There's a calendar. You can pick a day and a time to book the call. It'll be a short 15-minute call at start to just explore for how we can help you. So Todd, it's been an amazing journey, and I know we're just starting. So I appreciate you, who you are, the student that you've been, the friend that you've become, and I'm excited to see where you grow from here.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, see you soon.